Okay, I got this gas range here. I'm going to test it and then I'm going to part it out. Alright, so the first thing I did here was I plugged it in. And we see the keypad works. And yeah, the clock, we can set the clock up or down. Cancel that, we'll go to bake. So it shows that it would at least start to bake. I mean, electronically. That doesn't mean the gas is going to work in the oven. And cancel that. Broil. That function works. So yeah, it looks like all the buttons on the keypad are working. So that's, yeah, how much of a delay, the clock. Yeah. Yeah, so all that keypad's working and the clock works. The oven light is off. The oven light is on. With it plugged in, we can test the function of the igniter. See right here, that little tip sticking up there? That'll run a spark between here and there if it's working. And each of these has one. See that igniter? Oh, you can see it right there. See that little spark? Okay, so all those igniters work. Okay, it says right here, this stove has been, gas burner, assembly and valve have been converted for use with propane gas. Okay, I got a propane regulator here. It's a connection for a propane bottle. And I got a fitting on this end. That's not going to fit into there, but I got some other fittings here. I'm going to hook those up. There. That one in there. That one. Stick that. Hook that to the bottle. Turn on the gas. Some soap and water here. Let's put it on there. Let's see if we got any leaks. That looks pretty good. Take a second. So the gas just got hooked up. There it comes. This one's going. Try the back one over here. That one's going. Now, people I got this from said this one doesn't work. Oh, one or two. Yeah, see, it's burning there just a little bit, but there's a restriction in that gas line somewhere. All right. Now let's try the oven. Go up here. Bake. Let's put it at 400. And let's see what happens. There it is. This looks like it's burning well, burning clean. There it is. Okay. Disconnect that. Okay. Okay, so that's the back of the control panel. That's the keypad board, and this is the electronics control board for the stove. And we're also going to disconnect the wires for that's for the oven light switch. Okay, so to separate these burners, you got to take out these two screws here. There's one here and one here, and they're completely rusted off. There's no way to get them to turn with a screwdriver. Okay, so what I'm going to do is drill them out. Yeah, some fight more than others. Okay, we got that one. Yeah, and there still should be enough there sticking up to grab and take out with some vice grips. Yeah, so you just have to go underneath here. There's a screw here and a screw under here, and pull your buttons straight out and get them out of the way, and then this comes out of the way like that. Okay, then look right here, and what it is that's the end of the gas pipe that feeds from the back. So it's a 1/4 inch head on this. You take this off, and then you can lift the top, and there's the end of the pipe there. And see, I've screwed that bolt back into the end of the pipe. So basically that comes into that gas main. It's like a little manifold that goes all the way along here and feeds all the burners. That little pipe there is like a manifold. Okay, and that just fits into it, and this holds it in there, and there's a gasket that seals against the other side of this. Okay. And if you look back here, you'll see that pipe, there's nowhere to disconnect it here. Okay, so these orange cables are your igniter cables. So this one goes here, one to each burner. Okay, so I'm just going to disconnect those. There was one wire that went down here, and I unplugged two connections. One is, I unplugged this wire here, and the other one went down to a beige wire, went down here to the back of the spark control, right in there. Okay, so some of the components in the back of this gas range are, this one here is the door lock mechanism. Okay, so you know when you do like a self-clean or something, see there's a rod, comes from that, comes across the oven here at the top, and there's your door lock. Okay. Yeah, there's a part you can sell. So here's the cables for the igniters on the burners, and that comes to this spark module here. Okay, so obviously we've tested that, and we know that's working, so that's sellable. Here's the oven light. That's the socket for the oven light. It's got glass on the other side. It's Pyrex, so it's good for the heat in the oven, so that's sellable. There's, down in here, you got your main gas valve. Okay, that's sellable. And here we've got, that's the control panel. Okay, and we've tried that all out, and we know that works. We got the burner assemblies, and we've got the valves, and we've got the buttons. Can't forget the elements. We've got the broiler element, and we got the bake element. We've proven those, and we know that those work. And those are the big items that sell on these things. And then, you know, a fellow doesn't feel so bad recycling the rest of it, the carcass, the metal. You know that's all going to go back to be reused. But I mean, just let this stuff go all to the dump all the time. I mean, there's money to be made in them, you know, for, you know, a couple of hours work, and you know, careful disassembly, and you can just, you know, everything's got a part number on it. So what you do is you just look up the part number here. You may not be 100% sure which number is the part number, but you just take one series, like you might take that series right there, or this one says model whatever, so that could be the one right there. You could look up that number, or you could look up this number online. Just type that in and see what you come up with. If you come up with this and it says it's for this stove, you found the right thing, and if not, just keep looking. Same on these things. Okay, now all these boards will have, like even this plastic cover here, you see that 14D21580101. See, that's the part number for that piece of plastic for the front if you needed it. There'll also be numbers. Everything has a number, so you can find a number on these boards. For instance, like down here, this one here says CPC-E94V-0. That could be the number that you, so if you look that up, it might show this exact board. Someone will have taken a picture of it, and it'll be online somewhere, and you can tell what they've asked for it. So I mean, you know, if you find that board online and someone's asked $70 for it, and you want to, you know, compete with that, you could say, okay, I'll take $40 for it. You might get a quicker sale. You know, one of the things to remember that if you find, say, any of these parts, you find them online for sale used, what it means is you know, because you found it because it hasn't sold yet. You know, so maybe they're asking too much for it, right? So I mean, you see this spark controller, and you see that for $100, but you know, and you know a new one might be 200, but you see all the used ones going for 100, and they're still there. Well, maybe no one wants to pay 100 for them, you know. So maybe, you know, try 80 or try 70, and you know, you still up money. You didn't pay anything for the appliance, and you know, better to sell a part for something maybe a little less than you wanted and put money in your pocket than to hang on to it forever, you know, because eventually it's going to become an obsolete part and nobody's going to want it, right? So it's a fine line. Anyway, I'm going to get the rest of these out of here, and I'll show you everything amassed on the ground when I'm done. Okay, so here's all the stuff I got out of there. I got the oven element, the broiler, and the fitting for that, and I got the globe off the light. I got the light switch for the oven. I got an on-off switch that tells you if the door is open. This is the lock for the door, the motor for that, and there's a rod, and there's a little switch that tells you that the door is either locked or unlocked. Okay, there's the original power cord. There's the main control board. We've already tested that. This is the sparker control with the cables. There's a few of the, you know, I mean, these aren't worth much, but sometimes you can throw it in as a deal for somebody, you know, just say I'm going to throw in a few wires for free, and then they can use the ends if they need them. There's these grates. People are always breaking those and they need them. And like I say, the valves. I had to drill the holes to get them out, but they're not damaged, see? And basically you just have to take the rest of those bolts out of the body, and these are fine. Okay, and then the valves. But this one here, we know had trouble. This one didn't burn as well as it should, so maybe I wouldn't even sell that. And it might be in the valve, so I wouldn't sell any of that. Or I could sell it at a great discount, say, you know, give it to someone for $5 or $10 and say, you know, untested, take your chances. But all these other ones work. We know these work. They worked well. This igniter works on it. Okay. And here's the gas valve, and that's proven itself. We know that works. So, you know, this is probably worth, you probably get easy $50 for this. You probably get $25 per burner assembly. You know, sometimes these little buttons, you know, I would sell them with them, most likely. But, you know, sometimes you see these people sell these independent of the valves. So I don't know. I didn't add it up yet, but a few $100. A few $100 for a couple hours work to take it apart. And I live in an area where I can recycle the metal for free. Now, I could say, if you're the kind of person that looks for bits of metal to do stuff with, you know, you just ended up with quite a bit of metal that came out of that thing. Then there's the carcass itself. And the carcass, like I say, I'll just take it to a place. There's a recycler here that'll just take it. They're not going to give me any money for it, but you might live in an area where you can get some money for these old carcasses and the metal too. So it's win-win. Okay. And that's how that's done. Hopefully that helps somebody. Maybe somebody wants to take their own old stove apart and make a buck on it. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.